Hello and welcome to a wet and windy Wrexham in North Wales and to the British Shooting Shotgun Grand Final 2018. We are here at Fauxdegla Shooting Ground for the second running of this flagship season-ending shotgun competition, and shooters from all over Great Britain have joined us and are here to compete for the title of Grand Final Champion 2018. Just over 90 athletes have made it through the British Shooting Shotgun Series qualification rounds and will over the next 2 days take part in the disciplines of Olympic Trap, Olympic Skeet and Para Trap. All of our champions from last year have returned to defend their titles, but they will have a stern test from a raft of Olympic and world medalists and a large group of emerging young talent who are all striving to leave this weekend with that elusive Grand Final gold medal. And what's more, the Grand Final provides a fantastic opportunity for shooters to stake their claim for Great Britain selection and a chance to compete for qualification places at the Tokyo 2020 Olympics, which is now less than 2 years away. So with so much on the line and so much at stake, we are in for a fantastic weekend of shooting. So let's take a look at what's coming up in the show. We take a look back at all the qualification events and the medal winners in the junior and para trap categories. And then we move on to the Olympic trap discipline and we see if Kirsty Barr from Northern Ireland and England's Aaron Heading can defend the titles that they won in 2017. And later in the show, we move on to Olympic Skeet, where a whole host of Commonwealth Games stars from 2018 will be vying for the Grand Final titles in men's and women's skeet competitions. But first, I'm joined by London 2012 Olympic gold medalist Peter Wilson, and I'm really delighted, Pete, that you can join us. Thank you very much. This is your first Grand Final. How are you feeling about the weekend ahead?
Brilliant. It's mega. Being my first, it's been great to sort of catch up with lots of the skeet guys and girls, and it's felt like a true World Cup experience. Fantastic.
And you know, in a way, this is a big comeback event for you. You've taken a couple of years out with retirement, and you're back now shooting Olympic trap, which is different to double trap than what you won your medal in. How is that transition been for you, and what are you expecting out of this competition?
Tough. It's never easy competing at an Olympic event, but you know, I'm taking sort of slow strides in fact towards my goal, which is to just perfect my technique, start to push towards, you know, that 125, the elusive world record. That's a sort of sideline goal of mine.
And how do competitions like this, these domestic competitions like the British Shooting Grand Final, help you on that pathway?
Oh, I think this one especially has been one of the best I've ever competed in the UK. It's been the biggest. There's been that much more sort of fanfare around it. The build-up's been excellent. It's felt that much more professional than any other competition I've shot in this country. And yeah, I mean, there's the selection shoots. There's a number of other what we call registered events that I will try and compete in over the winter and throughout this year. But leading up to this, I don't think you could ask for anything more.
Fantastic. So we're here, we've got 2 days of competition ahead of us. Who do you think the people at home should be looking out for within the Olympic trap discipline?
Oh, I think when you go back over the years, Ian Peel has been, you know, a stalwart. He's been there day in, day out. And of course, you've got the young guns like Matt Coward-Holly, Stephen Scott, who've transitioned from double trap, who are on form at the moment. Brad Davis, Aaron Heading, World Cup gold medalist, current world #1. You can't rule him out. He's had a busy year though, so I wouldn't expect too big a score from him this time round. And then of course, the likes of myself and Nathan Hales, who have just been knocking on the door, and we're going to try and push those guys that have been around a little bit longer than us all the way.
We're now going to move the action on to looking at all of the qualification rounds that are going to happen over this weekend, and we are also going to take a look at the junior medalists who's come out on top in those junior competitions, and also the para trap competition that we have happening here as well this weekend. So it's now over to Joe Shannon, our commentator, to round up all that action.
Alex, thank you. It's great to be here at Fauxdegla, where Olympic trap, Olympic skeet and para trap disciplines were all on show over the 2 days of qualification in North Wales. The top-ranked shooters from the Shotgun Series wowed the crowds with some fantastic performances, the likes of Kirsty Barr, Amber Hill, Ben Llewellyn and Steve Scott, all braving the elements to battle it out in the Welsh Hills to secure the much-sought-after title of Grand Final Champion. Also competing, some of the UK's young aspiring athletes with dreams of competing on the Olympic stage, and they didn't disappoint. In junior women's skeet, there were some fantastic performances from Emily Hibbs, Lara Dale and Maddie Boyd. who not only won medals in the junior event, but also scored so highly that they qualified for the women's senior final, which we'll be showing you highlights of later in the programme. Emily Hibbs's qualifying score of 116 out of 125 meant she was the highest scoring qualifier from both juniors and seniors, even topping last year's winner Amber Hill's score of 115. Well, in the junior men's skeet, Alexander Wilkinson performed exceptionally, 110 out of 125 to secure gold. Luke Young won silver after shooting 106, with Aaron Eccleston and Dominic Cooper having to settle for joint bronze with a score of 102. In junior women's trap, great consistency from Augusta Campos Martin saw her win junior women's gold. Her score of 104 out of 125 was just 2 clays short of qualifying for the senior women's final. Rebecca Ferguson came out flying with some fantastic scores in the earlier qualification rounds, but 2 final round scores of 17 meant she had to settle for silver, while Ellie Dixon won bronze.
It's been really successful, so I've got my European bronze, which is, for going into seniors next year, I'm really happy. I'm at a point where I'm feeling quite confident to go into it. So
I think domestic events for me are a bit of a kind of trial and error, a time for me to experiment before I got onto the international stage, so they're really good for learning.
Well, with so many juniors participating in men's trap, it meant a final event was necessary to decide on the podium spots. And despite Daniel Campney qualifying in top spot, recently transitioning James Deadman won bronze, Tom Betts took silver, and it was Jake Janes who took the title of Junior Trap Grand Final Champion.
I've done a lot of hard work this year, and I'm glad it's paid off. It's been a long run up to this comp, so I'm glad to win it again.
In Para Trap, Alan Ritchie continued his great form, coming into the competition scoring 110 out of 125 to take top spot on the podium. The Scot is really securing some strong results in the Para Trap calendar, and he'll be looking to continue his medal-winning form at the World Cup in Châteauroux. After a poor start, having scored 115 out of 125 in his first round, Bill McLennan came back strongly to win silver with a score of 104. George Glover shot very steadily throughout the competition to win bronze with a score of 103.
It's always a thrill to come down and shoot in Fauxdegla, another fantastic competition. It's been challenging, I think, for everyone. The wheelchair guys obviously don't just get dirty feet, we get dirt all the way up ourselves and challenged with cold hands and what have you, but again, you just shoot the target.
So I'm here again with Peter Wilson. Thanks for staying with us, Peter. We're now going to preview this trap women's final that's coming up, and the qualification scores are in, and we have 2 athletes that have qualified a little way ahead of all of the other athletes, and that's Sharon Niven and Kirsty Barr. So can you tell us a little bit about these 2 athletes?
Well, Sharon, I must say, has shot out of her skin. Going into the final in first, she'll have the bib number, which basically means if all of them were to shoot the same score, she would be the last to go out, and deserves it. She's been training hard over the spring, summer, and into the autumn, so I'm looking forward to seeing how well she shoots. Haven't seen much of her this week, so I can't comment. Kirsty, on the other hand, I've been training with over the last few days and has been shooting really well, single barrel, first shot, which obviously is crucial in finals, being the only way that you're going to progress. So I would say that they're both going to be, well, put it this way, to have made it this far, you've obviously shot extremely well. Kirsty is 3 ahead, and of course Sharon is 1 ahead. Not that that makes any difference, but it just gives you an idea that they've got a sizable lead, and they'll be going in confident.
Okay, and thinking about that, we've also got 2 younger athletes in this final. We've got Ellie Seward, who's been to the Gold Coast at the Commonwealth Games this year. We've also got Georgina Roberts as well. So thinking about how tough those finals are, is it going to be hard for those girls, or do you fancy them?
I'd say Georgie, being local, she's only sort of 10 minutes down the road, she'll know this range back to front, and I would say she's my sort of quiet underdog, let's put it that way. She's only been in 1 other final this year, and so hasn't got as much experience to draw on as the other girls, but training here day in, day out, she has a really good chance of showing them what she's made of. Ellie, haven't seen much of her, but she's been training hard, I understand, and shooting well this week, so I think we should be in for a pretty mega final.
Very, very shortly we are going to move on to the Olympic trap women's action, but before we do, we are going to join Ellie Seward, who's going to give us a very quick guide to what Olympic trap is all about.
So what is trap shooting? Trap shooting is one of 2 shotgun Olympic disciplines, and trap is what I do. Over the past 2 days, we've shot at 125 targets, and the top 6 of that qualifying competition have gone into the final. And in their qualifying position, they get a back number which relates to the peg that they start on. The person with the highest score in qualifying starts on peg 1, the person with the second highest on peg 2, and so on. From then, they shoot 25 targets, and the person with the lowest score in single barrel is eliminated. In the event of a draw, the person with the lowest bat number is eliminated. After the first 25, the remaining athletes will continue by shooting 5, where the lowest is then eliminated again. They'll shoot another 5, another elimination, and so on until the last 2 remain. They'll shoot the remaining 10 targets to decide gold and silver position. If gold and silver are tied after the 50 shots, they'll go to a sudden death shoot-off, where the first person to miss loses, therefore gets silver, and the other gets gold.
Well, thank you very much, Ellie. That's Ellie Seward explaining what Olympic trap is all about ahead of today's women's final. And these are the scores each shooter achieved in qualification, and therefore determining the order in which they will shoot today. Sharon Niven will go first. Sharon is 43 years of age from West Lothian in Scotland. Very experienced. And Kirsty Barr will go next. A lot expected of her today. Many people expecting the girl from County Antrim to be right in contention. And the aforementioned Ellie Seward will go next, 21 in December. Another user of the Perazzi shotgun. Abby Ling, who says her proudest moment was winning the World Cup 2012 in Lonato, Italy. Abby's also expecting her second child. And this is Charlotte Hollands, who is from Burgess Hill in West Sussex. And bringing up the rear is the 21-year-old Georgina Roberts from Wales. Fauxdegla is her local ground, so clearly feeling very at home. Now each of the shooters will go again. Kirsty Barr, who won silver at the 2018 Commonwealth Games. Quite changeable weather conditions today, makes it very challenging. And all sorts of weather so far. You can see the conditions are not perfect. Rather gusty out on the ground. But Fauxdegla, as always, in prime condition. This is Charlotte Hollands, who has been battling flu. And Georgina Roberts rounding things off for us.
Ladies and gentlemen, after that thrilling first round,
and so Charlotte Hollands, the first to be eliminated, did fantastically well despite having flu coming into this. And this is the latest after 35 shots. So Kirsty Barr, Georgina Roberts and Ellie Seward all in contention going into the medal rounds. Sharon Niven having just been edged out. The standard has been very high indeed. And this is Kirsty Barr, as expected, very much in contention. Ellie Seward, the Somerset girl, standard very impressive, and the grit and determination there in abundance from all of the competitors. Georgina Roberts shooting very well, lots of improvements recently to her game. And it's bronze for Ellie Seward. And now it's between these two. Kirsty Barr to go first. Who will get gold and who will get silver? Georgina Roberts, who says her proudest moment was competing at the World Championships. And Kirsty Barr in prime position now. Georgina Roberts was 2 targets behind her entering the final 10. A real testament to Kirsty's determination and dedication to the sport, the way she's been shooting today. And a brilliant result for Georgina Roberts. She gets silver, but it's Kirsty Barr who takes the gold in the women's trap.
So, Kirsty, 2018 Grand Final champion, you've defended your title. How are you feeling?
I'm very cold, but I'm very happy. All the other competitors put up a brilliant fight, and hats off to all the girls in the final. They pushed me all the way. In fact, I had to come from behind. They were so strong.
What are your hopes for 2019? How are you going to push on to even greater achievements?
Well, 2019, there's more quota places for the Olympics, so the eyes are all on that at the moment, and we'll wait and see if we hear a selection on European Games and World Cups for next year, and that's definitely going to take a couple of months off now, but then I'll be straight back into it maybe around Christmas.
So this is how they finished up. Really good result for Georgina Roberts, who's made a great transition from the junior to senior ranks. But in the end, it's Kirsty Barr who wins gold by 2 targets in the Olympic trap women's final.
So that's the women's trap final completed, and some really strong performances from the ladies there. We are now going to take a short break, and when we come back, we move on to the men's event and also an exclusive interview with Aaron Heading, who takes a look back at his 2018 season. Welcome back to part 2 of the British Shooting Shotgun Series 2018. We are just about to head over to the action for the men's trap final, but before we do, we're going to hear from world number 1, Aaron Heading, on his year so far and his thoughts ahead of this grand final competition.
It's been a really good year. From starting with the Commonwealths, the big one this year, with a silver there, going on to Korea, just missing out on the medals there for the World Cup, going to Malta, and faced with the high winds again, and came on top of it. So come away with a gold there. So I was really lucky. And then after that one, it would be the European Championships in Austria. And again, that was a good, challenging competition. Everybody was on form, and I just missed out on the top 6 in the shoot off there. But that was definitely a good fight. And me and Ed Ling were together in that one, and just go to show where Britain shooting's at the moment. So coming into World Championships felt really good. Didn't have a great individual performance in the single event, but managed to pull it together with Kirsty Hegarty, and both of us come away with a team bronze there.
Let's just go back to the grand final. How important is this event for the British shooting calendar, having something of this level that we haven't really had before?
On the domestic calendar, it's got to be one of the most important ones. Not just as individuals, it's as a team. We come together with Skeet. We never do that during the year, and it just goes to show how big of a family we are when you see the amount of calibre of shooters we hear. Amber, Ben, and even with us in the trap, it's nice to see and nice to be around. And what it encourages is people to strive to get to this sort of event. And okay, the weather is what it is, but it will still be special.
And that was Aaron Heading you heard from there, and he will shoot last ahead of the Olympic trap men's final. These were the scores in qualifying. Some very high standards set, with Ian Peel the man who will lead things off, having scored 121. The man from Blackburn, a silver Olympic medalist from Sydney 2000. That understandably his proudest moment of his shooting career. Matt Coward-Holly, who's supported by his girlfriend today, Augusta Campos-Martin, who's been very successful winning the junior women's trap gold. And this is Mike Wixie from Abergavenny, very determined competitor and regular finalist. Steve Scott follows him from Battle in East Sussex, had a good year. And Brad Davis, who is calm and quiet and composed, but always very impressive, the 32-year-old, the man from Surrey. And this is Aaron Heading, who is soon to be a dad. His baby is due in March, from Sutton Bridge in Lincolnshire. And back round we go. Matt Coward-Holly from Chelmsford in Essex, 24 in December. Quite an age gap between some of these competitors. Steve Scott, the former Rio bronze medalist, former double trap shooter. And back to Brad Davis, whose career highlight was competing at the European Games. Aaron Heading.
After 25 targets.
Rounding things off, and it's Ian Peel who goes first. That, quite a surprise, did so well, leading the cohort into the final. He eliminated first, and Mike Wixie and Matt Coward-Holly both go. This is the leaderboard after 35 shots, very close between Aaron Heading, Steve Scott and Brad Davis. Mike Wixie will have felt unlucky to have been one target behind the pack and eliminated on bib number. And it's now between these three.
So please give a big hand to our bronze medalist today, Brad Davis.
And so it's Brad Davis who takes bronze. Aaron Heading and Steve Scott heading through to the final. They were just a little too consistent for Brad. And look at the changing weather conditions that we're experiencing now at Fauxdegla. This is extraordinarily difficult for both shooters. Aaron Heading, the world #1 trap shooter. Steve Scott was ranked #1 in the shotgun series going into this competition. This is as high a standard as it gets. Now these are extraordinary scenes here. Aaron hasn't got enough cartridges in his jacket to shoot the last shot. You don't see that very often. So he's going to have to borrow one of Steve's. Unbelievable. You don't see this very often. This is the world #1 trap shooter. And he's enjoying it. Be good to see him enjoying the moments. Will it be enough for him?
Congratulations to our silver medalist with his 4-8 shells.
Well, it's a terrific victory in the end for Steve Scott, who takes gold. Aaron Heading coming up just short.
So what an unbelievable men's final. It was a really tense fight all the way to the end. Aaron, it was gold last year, it's silver this year. How are you feeling?
That's not bad consistency, really, even though I only had 49 cartridges on me. Thanks for lending me one, though.
That's why no leading.
No, it was a great competition again. Even with the weather where it was, it's turned out nice and sunny for us here now.
And what a year for you this year. I mean, you know, you're gonna put the gun away for a little bit and have a rest, and then maybe come out for 2019. What's in store for 2019 for Aaron Heading?
Well, 2019, I think there's a few more competitions next year, but there's a baby on the way. So coming, hopefully arrive in March next year, there should be a baby Heading.
It's going to be late. It's going to be late. It's yours. It's going to be late.
Fantastic. Well, congratulations on your silver medal, Aaron. And to our winner, Steve Scott, congratulations. Your first Shotgun Series gold medal this year to follow up some of the other medals that you won. How are you feeling?
Very positive, very happy, and yeah, a little bit chirpy. Yeah.
And how proud are you of what you've done in terms of transitioning from double trap, which was obviously your discipline for many, many years, into this new discipline of Olympic trap?
Yeah, it's I don't know, it's hard to sum it up. Obviously, I've only been doing it for, a year and 6-7 months now, something like that. So I've transitioned over and I feel I've done very well. Obviously, to come and win and I've made every final. I think I'm the only athlete to make every final in the British Shotgun Series this year, and to come away with, I think, 3 medals out of 4. It's not too shabby for a double trap shooter. So yeah, I'm getting the hang of it, and I'm just really chuffed that it's on an upward trend, and making the most of it, and keep pushing these boys along.
I've got to say, from coming from double trap, from your discipline being taken away from you, then transitioning over to this and what you've done is fantastic, mate. And hats off to you. I really mean that, mate.
Thanks, mate.
Well done.
Well, this is how they finished. Aaron Heading running out of cartridges in the end, right in front of his sponsor, Fiocchi. So he takes silver, Brad Davis in bronze, And it's an excellent win for Steve Scott, who wins gold in the Olympic trap men's final.
So after that exhilarating men's trap final, it's time for us now to take a short break. But when we come back, we're moving over to women's skeet, and we will see if Amber Hill can take home the 2018 title and add to the win that she had in the grand final last year. So, welcome back to part 3 of the show, and we are now moving on to Olympic skeet, and I'm really delighted to be joined by Matthew French, who is a Commonwealth silver medalist and another athlete who is moving away from the double trap discipline into Olympic skeet, so he's really well placed to give us a little bit of a preview of this event. So Matt, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So in women's skeet we have a new name at the top of the qualification list, and that's Emily Hibbs, who has qualified in first place. Can you tell us a little bit about Emily's chances in this final?
Yeah, I'm very pleased for Emily. She's one of our Team England Commonwealth girls. She's had a very good year. I know she's been working extremely hard on trying to move along her technique. She shot exceptionally well today, shooting 116. Her chances are very good.
And talking of Emily Hibbs, we were able earlier this week to catch up with her before the grand final. So let's now take a look at her thoughts ahead of the competition.
I think it's been very exciting because, like you say, I've only been doing it 5 years and been doing skeet for about 2 years. And so it has snowballed quite dramatically. So, you know, when I first got into it, I was shooting the selection shoots, and then all of a sudden I was in the team going to the World Championships in Russia. And that was last year. And so, you know, it's been a fairly quick process to get to where I am at the moment. And I mean, this year being on the academy, you know, the expectation has got a lot higher. Training has got more intense, competition have got more intense. And, you know, being a competitive athlete, you know, it's a lot different to when I was just leisurely shooting sporting before. And so it has been really exciting. It's been difficult, and it still is difficult to manage, but I suppose exciting but a little bit daunting at the same time.
And one clay, so hot on Emily's heels, is Amber Hill, who doesn't really need too much of an introduction within the shooting world. But tell everyone a little bit at home about Amber and you know, possibly her potentially being the favourite in this final.
Yeah, even though Emily's pipped her today, this is, I believe, the first time that Amber's been beat on a home shoot for quite some time. So Emily shot exceptionally consistently to win today, but Amber is she's been our superstar of ladies skeet for some time. She's won 3 World Cup medals this year, won a Commonwealth Games silver medal, so she's bound to be favourite, and rightfully so. She's truly world class.
And obviously, you know, like you say, qualification, you know, we're looking at score, but really the final is a completely different kettle of fish. So what sort of things are these girls going to be thinking about as they prepare, and what are going to be the key things between success and failure in this final?
Well, the key things, it's really trying to get off to a solid start. In the skeet finals, men's and ladies, there are 2 particular pairs that they don't shoot in qualification. So what you'll find is on station 3, when they shoot the first pair, which is high bird first followed by the low, they then switch to shoot the pair the other way round. Now, it really depends, the crux on the final is who deals with those pairs the best, and they do the same on station 5. They shoot a reverse pair which they don't shoot in qualification. And what you'll find is they probably haven't shot that pair that way round for days. You won't shoot it in qualification in any point in this competition. The person that deals with that quick transition into the targets that you have thrown in the final will hold their own the best, because it's a shorter course of fire. Things change really quickly, so getting off to a solid start is vital.
Okay, and from a Great Britain talent looking to the future point of view, it's great to see we've got some juniors in this final as well. So we have Laura Dale, we have Maddie Boyd, and this is going to be a big event for them. But do you think they've got a chance of sneaking a medal maybe?
There's a chance that one of them could sneak a medal. I'd be surprised if it's anything other than bronze. I think Amber and the other girls are maybe slightly too strong. We've got Alexandra Skeggs in the final, who's made some real solid progress this year. Again, she shot in the Commonwealth Games for Northern Ireland. I'd put some money on her, maybe sneaking into the medals. Madeline Boyd and a couple of the other girls, it's fantastic to see them in this position, and the experience will be vital for them moving into the next sort of 2 or 3 years.
Super, thanks Matt. And as Matt's mentioned, Amber Hill is possibly the standout name in this final, and it's going to be interesting to see if she can defend the crown that she won in 2017. And she is now going to take us on a little quick guide as to exactly what is involved in Olympic skeet, so check this out.
So what is skeet? Skeet is one of the 2 Olympic shotgun disciplines which is shot in the Olympics. So skeet shooting is basically a semicircle where you shoot at 8 positions at 2 flying targets. One is flying from left to right and the other is flying from right to left. Skeet is a little bit different to the other Olympic discipline trap, as we have to have a line on our jackets where the gun must be held, and there also is a 1 to 3 second delay from when we shout pull, so we actually don't know when it is coming out. The clays will actually be flying probably about 65 to 70 miles per hour through the sky, and we basically need to shoot as many of those 25 targets that come out as we possibly can. The top 6 shooters will then proceed into a final. So the final is a little bit different, so we shoot from on stations 3, 4 and 5 and only shoot pairs. And we actually shoot a reverse pair, which we don't shoot in our normal rounds as well. So after the 20 targets, the 6th place shooter will then drop out and we will shoot another line of 10 targets. Then 5th place will drop out and so on until 3rd place is determined, and then 1st place and 2nd place is determined as well, and that will give us our winner for the day.
Well, Amber, thank you very much indeed. That's Amber Hill giving us the lowdown ahead of the Olympic skeet women's final. These are the scores that each shooter achieved in qualification. Emily Hibbs will lead us off. Madeline Boyd, you feel under a little bit of pressure to catch up and stay with the pack. Emily Hibbs, 20 from Poole in Dorset. Says her proudest moment was competing in this year's Commonwealth Games. Amber Hill will follow her, the girl from Berkshire. Formerly competed at the Rio 2016 Olympic final. The pedigree of all of the shooters throughout all of the competitions, of course, is very impressive indeed. The weather continues to be changeable at Fauxdegla. You can see it's pretty blustery, very interchangeable throughout today. This is Lara Dale, who's coached by Joe Neville. 1 gold for the ladies' England side at the home internationals in Ireland. From Stoke-on-Trent. Alexandra Skeggs says she was proud to take the first competition shot at the 2018 Commonwealth Games, one of her proudest moments in her shooting career. From Westminster in central London. Well, Jess Burgess has worked very hard this year on developing her shooting. Using the Beretta, she was 2nd at this year's English Open from London. And now Maddie Boyd, just 18 years of age from Windlesham in Surrey. She does suffer from type 1 diabetes, but it certainly doesn't stop her. Won a silver medal as part of the British junior team at this year's Qatar Open. And so this is the state of play after 40 targets. Emily Hibbs was 3 behind Lara Dale as they went into the next series of 10 targets. Emily clawed 1 back, but it wasn't enough. So Emily out of the final in 4th place. Lara joining Alexandra Skeggs and Amber Hill in contention for medals. Lara, who's competed very well, but you get the sense the odds realistically against her. And in the end, it's bronze for Lara. Excellent effort. And that means that it's Alexandra Skeggs against Amber Hill in the final. Amber, the former Rio 2016 Olympic finalist. Alexandra, who represented Northern Ireland at this year's Commonwealth Games. And this is a really close fight between these two. The sun just starting to come out at the very end. Weather's been particularly changeable. And Amber Hill, 4 targets ahead going into the final 10. She has what you would imagine would be an unassailable lead. Alexandra Skeggs with a near enough impossible hill to climb going into this. And Amber Hill, very, very impressive. Made each target thus far. And Alexandra with her work cut out. Not a lot she can do in this sort of situation, given the accuracy that Amber's displayed. This is turning into a really good women's skeet final at Fauxdegla, which is a premier shooting ground, of course, here in Wrexham in North Wales. Well, she did brilliantly, Alexandra, but it wasn't enough. Perfect 10 out of 10 from Amber Hill, and she takes the gold by 5 targets. And we can hear from Amber Hill now.
Okay, Amber, well done. Another title, another grand final title. You've had a really, really long and busy year. Was it tough to come here and win again?
It's been an absolutely exhausting season. It's been right from March, but it has been a really, really good one. And to finish on such a high at the grand final has just been the cherry on top, really. Just another medal to the collection, and to be able to regain my title against some great competitions today. I was pushed the whole way. It's just fantastic, and I'm coming away very happy.
And often you're competing all over the world in hot countries, and you come here to Fauxdegla and it's windy, it's raining. How tough are those conditions for Olympic skeet?
It's so much better when you're shooting in glorious sunshine, but the reality is it's not always going to be like that. And I think by training and competing in these conditions really does just kind of get you used to it, because there's going to be that one time where you do go to that expected sunny country and it isn't, and you're going to be prepared. So it is what it is, and just have to make the most of it.
You've been a great supporter of the Shotgun Series as a whole in 2018. Are we going to see you back for the Shotgun Series in 2019 and the Grand Final 2019?
You will definitely see me here at the Grand Final 2019. I think it's a great shoot to have trap and skeet combined together, to see the young up and coming talent, and it's just a great event for the sport, really. So if you are about in 2019, come along. You won't be disappointed by the up and coming talent that we have here.
Well, we'll certainly be there to see what happens, that's for sure. Amber Hill takes gold by 5 targets over Alexandra Skeggs. Lara Dale winning bronze. Emily Hibbs, Madeline Boyd and Jess Burgess all eliminated. Back to Alex.
So what an absolutely fantastic women's skeet final that was, and congratulations to the 6 ladies who made it to the final, and of course to the medalists. Join us after the break when we will be heading over to the men's event to see if Ben Llewellyn can defend his title from 2017. Welcome back to part 4 of the show, and we have just seen a fantastic women's skeet final, and we are about to head over to the men's event where we'll see if Ben Llewellyn can defend his title from 2017. So for the final time, it's over to Joe for the men's skeet final.
Alex, thank you very much indeed. Welcome then to the final event of the show at Fauxdegla, the Olympic men's skeet final. These are the scores in qualifying, and therefore the order in which they will shoot. It'll be Ben Llewellyn who will lead us off, the man from Haverfordwest in Pembrokeshire. Conditions probably the best that we've seen all day. Had all sorts, sleet and driving rain at one stage as Gareth McCauley prepares to take his opening shot from Coleraine in Northern Ireland, using his Beretta. And it's Jeremy Bird next, or Jez as he is often known. Man from County Durham. Freddie Callender follows, 26. His coach is Andrew Austin. Says his best moment in shooting was making the final at the Commonwealth Games. Freddie is from Cambridgeshire. Mike Gilligan lives just outside Derby in Chaddeston. 30 years of age, his birthday was in June. Won silver at the 2013 World Cup in Acapulco, when he was representing Great Britain for the first time, understandably that's the best moment of his career. And the man who worked wonders to qualify, Ross Elgie from North Yorkshire. What can he do in this Olympic men's skeet final? Well, this is the state of play. 40 shots in, Ross Elgie eliminated relatively early on. Freddie Killander, having escaped his challenge, couldn't stick with the pack. Mike Gilligan just missing out on a place in the top 3. It's Gareth McCauley, Jeremy Bird and Ben Llewellyn in contention for medals in the Olympic men's skeet final. And a bronze medal it is in the end for Gareth McCauley. Great effort from him. Really good year with his Commonwealth success as well. And now we go into the final 2 with this man, Ben Llewellyn, leading things off. It says his greatest shooting achievement was a silver medal in the Commonwealth Games. And here is Jez Bird, the man from the northeast. Look at the concentration. These two are really well matched. Ben, 3 targets ahead of Jez going into the final 10 targets. And the man from Pembrokeshire looks in pretty imperious form here, I have to say. A lot of work for Jez to do. 125 out of 125 in Cyprus in 2017. He needs a similar miracle here, and he needs Ben Llewellyn to falter. Well, it's not quite good enough in the end for Jez Bird. A terrific effort, nice to see smiles between both men at the very end there. But Ben Llewellyn in absolutely tremendous form, 10 out of 10. A perfect final stretch from Ben Llewellyn. Jez Bird takes silver, but it is Ben Llewellyn who wins gold. And we can hear from him now.
So Ben, congratulations, another grand final gold medal for you. How are you feeling?
Yeah, pretty good actually. I definitely had my work cut out in that final. The sun came out pretty strong there at the start, which made it very difficult, and dropped a few targets, but managed to dig deep and come away with the gold.
Excellent. And do you know what? That's the first sun we've seen all weekend. So it's been tough conditions. It's been wet. It's been windy. How much of a factor has that been over the weekend?
Yeah, a huge part. I mean, the wind is one of the biggest factors for us, because the clays, they're all dependent on which way the wind's going, basically. So yeah, it's been real tough for everybody the weekend, and everyone's really stuck it out, and nice to see everyone here at the final and shooting well.
Yeah, and a quick word for Jeremy and Gareth, who really pushed you in that final, didn't they?
Yeah, they did, yeah. I mean, at the start there, I dropped a few too many targets, and they were running ahead, so I had to sort myself out and get back on the train, really.
Yeah, I think the crowd could see you sort of trying to compose yourself, take some deep breaths. Is that a key thing for you to really try and just bring yourself back into the moment?
Yeah, definitely. I think if you get frustrated with the targets that you've lost, then you just sort of dig a bigger hole and you just keep going down. So it's important to just refocus and reframe yourself and then focus on the next target, really. Yeah.
Well, this full confirmation of the result, the Olympic Skeet men's final, terrific final, and Ben Llewellyn, the Commonwealth Games silver medalist it is, who comes out on top, winning gold. And we'll hand you back now to Alex Ballard.
So, as the sun starts to come down here in Wrexham, we bring down the curtain on a fantastic grand final for 2018. Congratulations to all of our winners, and a huge thanks to the event partners, Promatic, Fiocchi and Vivaz, and to everybody who has made this event so special. We're going to leave you now with some of our favourite moments and a roundup of all the action, and we'll see you again next year for the grand final 2019.